Good evening. You may see something that's a little differently. You got your boy Shawn Xavier,
With the girl six voice.
right? Dave and how we're the same location, man. We got Eon with us, man. Eric, yo, this is a special edition of the Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk Sunday night edition. You know why? You know why it is. We got DC, we got New York in the house, we got Baltimore in the house. Let's get ready to have some fun tonight. We appreciate you guys tapping in with us. I hope you guys been enjoying all of your football today. And of course, you want to make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seat Podcast. And we are streaming live on YouTube, Twitch TV, our Facebook channel. And if you're next to somebody who's watching like the current game right now, which you'll see us look up from time to time, hey man, go ahead and tap on again to the pregame this is the pregame to the pregame to the pregame.
Oh, the Sunday night game.
I love it. Fellas, man, how we feeling, man? How we feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good.
Good stuff.
Being tired as a mother lover.
Oh no, we feeling that too. We feeling that too. And you know, this Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk is not brought to you by Modelo, Chilada, Lemon and Salt. It's not brought to you by them, but you know, it's we pre-gaming. We pre-gaming.
It's on point.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead, talk about your morning.
Man, so my morning started just like this. So my morning started at 3:30 this morning. And I was up and I took a trip down from where I live outside of Baltimore all the way down to Dulles. If you know what Dulles is, you know that's just way the hell out there, close to Manassas, Sterling, Herndon, and everything in Virginia, to pick up my baby. My firstborn. She flew in on Exodus for her holiday retreat, and it has been great so far. So we've been hanging out all day and, you know, a little shopping. Then we came down here to National Harbor, hang out with Dave and the family, Andrea and everybody, and, you know, chilling out the Gaylord, man. Winterfest, cold as a biscuit out there.
Cold as hell.
It was cool, though, man. It was cool. We didn't get our drink like we thought because they closed early.
Which is crazy.
Right. Some slides, some bumper cars, some ice skating. Ain't nobody die. That's been a day, and now we're gonna top it off with watching this Giants Washington game.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we will get to that. But besides that, man,
what about your morning, E?
Yeah, how was you, man?
I'm tired in the mother lover.
From work?
Yeah, it's a carryover because I mean it's. You know, until Christmas is 6 days a week. So
what's up, G?
It's a carryover.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Look, we burning the midnight oil right now. Like I went to a Christmas gathering last night with the missus, and we didn't leave there till midnight. Mind you, remember my clock went off at 3:30 this morning. Yeah, we gonna push it through. We're gonna push it through.
By the way, happy belated birthday, my dude.
Yes, very much, sir. Very much so. Very much, sir. Happy birthday, sir. One time for the birthday boy. How was your I know we'll get to that on the pod. We'll talk about all the, you know, the extracurricular stuff on the pod itself. But let's get right into it, man. This is Sunday night. We ain't gonna hold you guys too long, man. It's a Sunday night edition of the Hot Seat Podcast present Football Talk. Typically, we will come in and give down a big breakdown of everything we do leading up to Sunday and Saturday's games. But since we come in Sunday night, we can do some of the highlights of the weekend. So let's go to one right off the bat, man, from our college side. Did anybody watch I watched the majority of the game, the North Carolina Central Jackson State game. It was the Cricket Celebration Bowl. It's the HBCU National Championship. So you got the MEAC versus the SWAC. It was a good game.
MEAC, stand up.
One time.
It is.
It's I will say this though. As good as Jackson State is, and even other SWAC teams, the MEAC teams are ahead of the SWAC teams.
Say it again.
The MEAC teams are ahead of the SWAC.
Did you hear me?
One more time.
Just need to say it? Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And you guys don't know what I'm talking about from a football standpoint. And this is me putting my coach's hat on real quick. The MEAC teams, the speed at which they play and the discipline, you can clearly see it in between Central and Jackson State. Jackson State put up some numbers. Shadua Sanders put up 300 plus 4 touchdowns. But again, when it comes out, he's going out to Colorado. Some of those other guys might be going out there as well. But they're going to really need to step their game up if they're going to compete in that Pac-12. I'll say that right now. So you can dominate in the SWAC, but this is a clear-cut case of, even though as tight as the game was, it's different. And they had a couple other issues there, a couple of other tosses from the game and ejections. But what would you guys take away from the game, man?
Well, from what you just said, that tells you the Deion effect. You just talked about a whole conference that you say is better, yet all the eyes were on Jackson State. I don't know how much we're gonna dive into the Deion effect because some more stuff has come out. In the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, it was no surprise to me. Personally, I don't know if it was a surprise to E. What you think, E?
Max, stand up. Max, stand up.
It was I mean the Deion for the Deion effect, really, I think as far as something is it we got you, G. Giants is our resident Philly fan, so you go too, man. Let's go, me. Yes, absolutely. But from the Deion effect, it's something like I will love. That's one of the reasons I really wanted him to stay down there so they can continue to get that that continued exposure, not for just Jackson State, but he's one of those ones they want to cover the game. And two, I'll tell you this, I noticed in this game, that game was presented well. I didn't like the commentators, I ain't gonna lie, but the visual presentation was a lot better than the actual SWAC championship game. So, and the other one's on ESPN too, but it looked clean. The stadium,
they played it to make it seem as though it was an actual football game really being played in prime time.
Right, it did, and that looked, and I don't know what's going to take place after Deion leaves Jackson State, but I hope we don't go back to what I saw in the SWAC championship.
Man, we going to ESPN Plus once he leaves, son.
Well, he already signed some type of contract. That's what I was saying before.
Yeah.
I think it's for like 3 years. I should have pulled up the actual contract before he left. I don't know if there's any specific wording within there that says anything about him leaving, but
we gonna see
to be able to retract that whole thing. But I think it was for like 3 years or something. I'll get the information for you.
It was good, man. I mean, it was I had that part of it. I'm hoping that some of those players, that one player, I feel bad for that fullback. I think it's fullback that missed that game tying catch. Touchdown would have been in overtime. If you guys saw the video, you saw Deion consoling him and stuff like that. But he came from, I forgot what school he came from. I want to say Marshall. Don't quote me. I think Marshall. And his ass ain't catch nothing in Marshall either. So I don't know what made them think. Surprise. I mean, I guess it's a surprise. I mean, they did throw to Penei Sewell, Detroit did, but that's pro level. But that young man didn't catch nothing there. So I guess, I don't know, he had butterfingers or he just wasn't anticipating it. I don't know, man. I mean, it was a good game. It was a good game. It was competitive. But I'll see. I hope I say Shador, I hope he does well in Colorado because he's going to go up.
Don't need to.
Yeah, and USC ain't left yet. Here's my question though. And Eric, you may know better than me. You may be the one who knows better than all of us. Is it an automatic? So he's going into I'm assuming he's going into the transfer portal, correct?
Yeah, he's going to play. He's going to be able to play next year.
Right. That's what I thought. I was trying to say, so he's able to go right in and then
made that switch.
Yeah. Okay. Got you. So USC still going to be there next season.
Boy Hunter going to go too. Don't get it twisted. He was showing off his skills on both sides of the ball, defense and offense. He going in there too. He might show up on campus as the best receiver that walks onto that campus over in Colorado.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see. But if you guys know, that quarterback for North Carolina Central though was tough too. Like he was tough. So I mean, I know all the eyes are on Jackson State. There are some players on that MEAC side for North Carolina Central that deserve being looked at.
That quarterback, he's cleaned up on the MEAC awards this year.
Absolutely.
And like I said, I know we're not gonna go deep into it, but I'm telling you, sit back and just keep your ears to the street.
Yeah.
As far as this whole Deion thing, because I'm telling you, it was much deeper than him just getting up and going to Colorado. I think that this whole relationship between him and the president there at Jackson State, whatever was going on and whatever wasn't being done, He's kind of hinted towards it without actually fully saying it.
No, absolutely.
So I think that's why I said it before. I think it's a much deeper story, even though all of us agree that we wish he was still there.
Yeah.
Just keep your ears up.
Yeah. I think it's now Eddie Robinson Jr. Are you gonna be SWAC now?
Look, he's still in the SWAC. Look, he still gotta go up against the MEAC though at the end of the day. So
saying, I mean, are we going to see his team next year? I mean, I doubt it, but I'm just saying. I mean, he wanted to come at Dion, so is he gonna be SWAC now?
Yeah, I mean, next year we might be looking at Eddie George or Hugh Jackson, one of their teams, be in the spotlight. I'm hoping that be the case. Using those
still gonna smack that ass.
I can see it. But in any case, man, salute the North Carolina Central, man. They won the actual HBCU national championship, one time for them. What else we got going on, man? So down there, so not in the SWAC, but something else we have to highlight on our college side. Did y'all see that man run?
I didn't get to see it.
I didn't see it. All I saw was the little thing that's been on like all the IG pages about him telling his auntie to chill.
It's, man, look, Frank Gore Jr., he bought he broke the bowl game record for 329 rushing yards. Yeah, he running just like his dad, bro. Like it was so interesting about that is I was listening to another podcast and they had I was listening to the Pivot podcast and they had Clinton Portis on and they were reminding me of all the running backs that came out of the U. If you guys didn't know, Frank Gore is from the U. You guys didn't know, I am an avid U fan.
You hear?
I think everybody knows that.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm sticking out his chest finally.
He's sticking out his chest about the past. He's sticking out his chest about the past.
Hold on. The whole year he's been calling to Miami. All of a sudden they're the U because he's talking about Frank Gore in the past.
Y'all need to say that be an Earl coin for him.
Oh my grace!
If he says more about it,
yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Fair enough.
But I'll say this though. Like, see, this is why I like bowl games, even though I made a joke about there being a Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. If you guys just saw, there was a Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. I didn't know can we get a hot seat bowl?
I don't know.
If Jimmy Kittle got a goddamn bowl, yeah.
I know.
I mean, I saw it, but this is why you get those bowl games, man, because you get guys like this that you would never see them on. He's in Southern Miss, so how often are you seeing Southern Miss games? Right. And for the fact that he went against Rice, and he burnt their ass up. That game ended up coming down to 38-24. And at one point, it was 21 points by Rice in the third quarter. But I mean, if nothing else, running backs are no longer your top picks unless you're one of those weird teams that do that. But that should have put him into the draft race, or at least getting drafted maybe third, fourth round or something like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we have to look. We might have to bring you on for that, G, because there's a lot of conversations we can talk about that. We can definitely talk about that. Anything stood out from you guys from this college weekend though? I mean, anything else that you guys got the chance to lay your eyes on?
Getting close to the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's about it over here. I'm waiting. I am waiting. I already told the missus, look, I know it's New Year's Eve. But I'm just letting you know it's not gonna go off the same way that it normally does, because at 4:00 I'm gonna be in front of a TV.
Absolutely.
I need to watch Michigan.
Absolutely.
I didn't tell the second part about the second game, so we'll get around. Let me deal with 4:00 right now. That'll let me know if I'm gonna watch the second game in the first place.
Oh man. I'm looking forward to seeing some of these games. And you see like these guys to get the highlight. Some of the game, I think a couple of those guys in that tournament that decided to sit it out. Who did I see? One of I think it was an Alabama player that I saw. Not Alabama, sorry, a Georgia player decided not to play.
If you're not playing for the national championship, and
True.
Hell, I'm gonna be real with you.
True.
It's gonna get to the point especially with the NILs and all that type of stuff, and you getting paid, and you start looking at some of these contracts and people that get hurt in these championship games.
Right.
you're gonna see people for the championship game going. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I ain't playing in the playoffs, bro. I'm already going number one.
Yeah.
I'm straight.
It's that, man. I mean, salute to all these guys, man. These young men who are putting on a show this entire holiday week, weekend, going into New Year's. And really, man, a lot of them, they're doing this, man, and hope to get their name called in April for the draft. Right. To be perfectly honest, man. So
I pray for health, man.
Yeah, salute to them.
There's nothing worse than them to build up their whole portfolio up to that point.
Yeah.
They get to those bowl games, like you said, some of these ones that ain't even for the national championship, and then you have an injury that has them out. Like, isn't that what happened to old boy? Because he just came back. Isn't he playing for like Detroit or something?
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
And he got hurt during that time. Yeah, it's like
and it's not the same, because I remember, since we were talking about Frank Gore Jr., Frank Gore got hurt coming out on top of Willis McGahee. Remember, these guys were running roughshod, and they ended up still getting drafted, but that was during a time when the running backs were, first and second round pick. For those guys like that, premium positions, now you get hurt, they may drop you down to the fourth or fifth round, and that money difference between a third and fifth rounder is a lot,
especially depending on position.
Right,
like running back, bruh, they know they can go into like the fourth, fifth round and get somebody that is prime time. So
they ain't too many Travis not Travis, but Travis Henry's coming out, and those guys like that, they're not happening at all. And I just saw that New England just actually won on, it should have been actually just lost, I'm sorry, 30-24. Josh McDaniels lives to fight another day. He lives to fight another day. Speaking of, let's go into some NFL football, because we know what y'all came here for.
Hold on.
Go ahead, what you got?
I mean, this is football talk, right?
Yeah, you got what you got.
Right.
I want to give a shout out to football champions real quick.
Okay.
All right. Shout out to Messi in Argentina. You know what I'm saying? The football championship of the world.
Football, yes.
Football championship of the world. You know what I'm saying? The man finally got it. He finally got his trophy.
On his last go round.
Yeah.
On his last go round. Hey, look. Was it any better way to end that? I mean, the fact that they ended it with the kicks. Like, that's what you want. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to see a blowout. That's what you want to see, especially for somebody that came like a legend like him, to be able to get up there and to step up, and his team to pull it through. Man, shout out to them.
And it couldn't have ended a better way, man, because if you guys, it ended this way, but there's a lot of other stories that surrounded this World Cup that are kind of get pushed to the side because they're going to focus on Messi. We'll probably talk about that on the pod, because there's a lot of other stuff that went down.
Interesting that you brought that up, because has there ever been anybody from soccer that came over and became a kicker or a punter in the NFL?
Yeah. Not nobody currently playing, I don't think.
I got to check.
I want to say, wasn't the kicker, Eric, tell me, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't the kicker from Tampa Bay? Wasn't he a soccer player at one point? Remember, he used to celebrate a lot. I can't remember his name.
It was one that tore his ACL when he jumped in the air. And...
Yeah. I think he was a soccer player.
And he was never back on the field pretty much after that. He was actually a really good kicker too. I can't even think of what his name was. But he had a brother. He had a brother that kicked as well.
Brother as well. Yeah. All I know is they don't build him like Sebastian Janikowski no more. I need a drunk.
He ain't never been a kicker built like
6'4" kicker, man. Like he had a leg like nothing. What happened to him? Did he just like retire after a while? Because he was in Florida. He came out of Florida State.
Dude played for like 17 years.
He did, and he was drafted in the first round, right?
First round
by the damn Raiders. Only the Raiders can pull it off. And Sebastian Janikowski. Salute to Al Davis, man. Rest in peace, bro. Yeah. So let's get into a couple of things that happened in the NFL world, and I'm gonna start with this, man. And I'm sorry. If bad luck was a person, God damn, Matt Ryan. So after watching the Jackson State game, and I came into this game late, and saw that I was excited because I want Jeff Saturday to do well, and I saw that Indianapolis Colts was beating the hell out of Minnesota, and I was like, damn, Kirk Cousins still can't get right. It was 31 points, I believe. 31 points.
thought it was 33-0.
It might 33. Hell, that makes it even better. 33-0 the first half.
33-0 at halftime.
Yeah. If you guys didn't watch the rest of that game, just let you know the Colts lost that game. They lost that damn game. And if you guys have seen
it was
the
my
memes,
quarterback this week. Oh, I'm sorry. Continue on.
Right. Look, shout out to Gary. Yes, we together. We ain't cute right now. We're gonna be mortal enemies in a minute. It's Matt Ryan is now been on the end of the biggest comeback, the wrong end of the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history and the biggest comeback in NFL history as well. Go ahead and let it go, bro.
Let me just throw this out.
Let it go. Shit.
I know Jeff Saturday was sitting there like, these are the motherfuckers I was talking about a couple weeks ago. Like the bad coaching calls and stuff. Right. Now I'm in the history books.
Right.
I'm not gonna get picked up for next year.
Right. I think that game cost it. They may not bring Jeff back off that one game.
Bruh.
If they had won that game like that, then they'd be like, yeah, we're gonna bring him back, and nobody would say nothing. But the fact that they lost like that,
the real funny part about that is the fact that who was their coach before Jeff Saturday came in? Who was the coach that got fired?
Oh, Frank Wright,
the man who held the record for the last 29 years as the quarterback for the biggest comeback in NFL history.
That's some shit. Frank Wright said,
"You get rid of that man, and now your franchise now has that label stuck on them. You had the man who had made that record." You got rid of him, and now your franchise is now the one stuck with that record the other way.
Right.
Just saying, just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
That's
a good take.
It was so bad, man. I
don't know what how does Matt Ryan go in to like the halftime and go, all right, now we just need to mess up. Like, look, I don't want to do anything we just did in the first half.
Oh my God, man.
So
I feel like Matt Ryan goes into the game. I know this is unfiltered conversation. We fine. We ain't on FCC. He going in and be like, I'm here to fuck shit up. And he literally go in.
It has to be partly him, because I'm telling you.
Oh, my God, man.
Especially with his tenure, even though he's new there.
Yeah.
You have to get to a point where you're like, nah, bro, that's a bad call. I ain't running it. I'm not doing it. We about to lose this game.
I don't. And Matt Ryan's stats for this game was 19 of 33, 182 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Got sacked for three times for only 12 yards.
I want to see. Can you go into that? Can you check the halves, first half and second half?
I probably can. Let me see if I can pull it up on there.
We'll get to it.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see.
How that Raiders Patriots game ended?
Yes, it just did. And it was a flag, and it was a flag on the Patriots. And game over.
Wow. I just saw the clip of how it ended. Wow.
Game over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yo, the Raiders, think about it.
Gary just said it.
The Raiders' last 2 wins that they got, they had the win when Jacobs broke the run for like 80-some yards, and now they just had that. Yep. Think about what's going on with the Raiders right now. Like, wow. Like, talking about the it factor right now.
Josh McDaniels is like, look here, don't get me fucking fired again. I'm not trying to go back to New England. It's cold as a bitch out there. I'm not trying to go back there.
Talking about the it factor. They got the it factor going on right now.
Right. So real quick, though. There's no video now of Kirk Cousins doing you like that? Like
that, right? If any time to do it, this would have been the time for him to do it.
And this is the stat line. He got sacked 7 times in that game. He got Joe Burrow sacked, but he threw for 460 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. KJ Osborne had 157 yards. Justin Jefferson had 123 yards.
Now let's do the flip side.
Dalvin Cook had 95.
We were speaking about this earlier, Shawn. Everybody on the NFC side is like, I want to face Minnesota.
Absolutely.
In the playoffs.
Absolutely.
I do not want to face the 49ers. I want Minnesota that first round. Even though they did that comeback, but
they weren't playing against the Colts.
They just ain't looking,
because they sure as hell played against these Lions that were like they were underdogs to the Lions. Was it last week before last? That shit was funny as hell. And then the Lions.
Hey, Lions are no joke.
They are not. They're not at all.
Lions are no joke.
We can go right into that.
They're not.
No joke.
Here's a question though: do we actually?
The Jags.
Do we?
Gary.
I guess I shouldn't ask. We don't believe in Minnesota.
Nah.
I believe in Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, that's
I don't believe in Minnesota.
Right. Right.
That's about it.
That's look, how you be 11-3 team and no one believes in you? Is it because you lose to you getting your ass whooped by the Indianapolis Colts for one half?
Nah, because even when they win, you're just like, okay.
Right. Right. And for the record, one of those 11 wins was against the Washington Commanders, who they almost lost a game to.
Because let's be real, this offense that they showed in the second half, that should be them all season. You see their lineup? Like, that should be them all season. So it was nothing shocking. It was shocking that they did that comeback, of course,
right,
for that amount. But there was nothing shocking as far as the fluency of the offense. I'm just like, come on, man. Like, Kirk, you don't even got to be anything crazy. Like, just get the ball there. Just get the ball there. You don't even have to do nothing crazy. And on Justin Jefferson's side, and it's not even a joke, it's not an exaggeration, just throw the ball up. Just throw the ball up. If you're about to get sacked, just find out where he's at and throw the ball up. If it gets intercepted, as long as you threw it his way, nobody's going to argue. Nobody's.
If you Justin Jefferson right now, and you're looking at two of your boys that are currently playing together on the same team, and seeing what those two guys are doing, I mean, they just won their game just now, and that was a hell of a comeback that they just did, and to come back and win that game. In the back of his mind, is he kind of thinking to himself, if I could get over to that team, what could we do?
Which team we talking about?
The Bengals.
Oh, they ain't gonna be able to do that.
They got his quarterback and they got his fellow running.
They ain't gonna be able to do that though.
No, I'm just saying if they could, just thinking to it's not that they can't. I mean, the most that Minnesota could really do is give him a 5th-year option and then start franchising him after that. But how long are you going to franchise a receiver? So, I mean, honestly speaking, by year 6, he could leave.
Yeah. Look, I got something for you. This is why we don't believe in Minnesota. Now I'm going into my analytics bag for this one. Shoot. So there are 5 teams in the NFC. They have a positive point differential. What is that? Meaning you have scored more points than your opponent. There is 5. Before Minnesota's game, there was only 4. These teams are Philadelphia, 13-1. They have a differential of 143 points. They've scored 143 points more than their opponents. San Francisco 49ers are a plus 128. The Dallas Cowboys, we'll talk about them, plus 125. The Detroit Lions, that should be included in today's game as well. The Detroit Lions have a plus 5. The Minnesota Vikings have a plus 2. And that's including before today's game, they had a minus point differential in their games. That's why nobody believes in the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
So those 11-3, that 11-3 is so hollow because you aren't even outscoring your opponent, and you just gave up 33 in the first half and almost lost that game because you had to come back and make this miraculous thing because they had Matt Ryan on the other side. That's why no one believes in you. Just want to point that out. That's all I'm saying. There you go. What else we got going? Speaking of Dallas, because I always love this conversation. Sunshine over Dak. Everybody's out there watching football today. Saw the Jacksonville Jaguars upset the Dallas Cowboys. Shout out to your boy. Your co-host, moderator, and producer behind the scenes there for picking Dallas this week. I appreciate everybody who supported me in that. I will be coming for my money. If you watch this, you know who you are. You know who you are. What's your take on Jacksonville though? Like every time I think Jacksonville is really doing something, and then they lay an egg, but then today they balled out, and yeah.
I mean, they got assets there, and I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be something.
Right.
Just the fact that he's showing potential right now, coming from what he just came out of last year.
You ain't lying.
I mean, that was a shit show.
Right.
And it wasn't his fault.
Right.
There's just certain people that disappear.
Yeah.
And I guess I noticed it more this year playing, through the fantasy football and stuff like Christian Kirk sometimes like just totally disappears.
Yes.
And it blows my mind because I'm like, yo, I go and I watch the game and I'm like, he's putting it right on target. So it's not even his fault. Even like most of his interceptions are like the bounce off the hand type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think they'll be all right. Etienne, I like him.
They're 6-8 right now, 4-3 at home. Here's a hot take. It may not be. Can we stop? Well, shit, I'll say it. Fuck it. Can we stop proclaiming Dak as a franchise quarterback and just call him he's just a good quarterback? Or I'll go even further. And this, you know what? I don't care what people say about this. He's like the black Kirk Cousins.
Wow. All right.
Tell me I'm wrong. Somebody tell me I'm wrong, please. Tell me I'm wrong. Like they have such high expectations of Dak. And Dak, this is the stat line for that game. Trevor Lawrence was 27 for 42, 318, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 1 sack. Dak Prescott, 23 of 30, 256, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The game ended on a pick 6 thrown by Dak, 3 of 13. Why do I say that? What happened last year in the playoffs? The infamous I didn't know what the rule was.
Why the ref picking up the ball?
Right. What did we say about Kirk Cousins? In the biggest moments, he blows the game. That's why you don't play him on primetime. Dak has a history of doing the same thing, bro. But for some reason, he gets that pass. And they'll blame it on everything.
Hold on. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not a Cowboy fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Cowboy hater either. I mean,
I'm not saying this from a hate standpoint. I'm just saying in general, though.
No, I'm stating this claim just to let you know that what I'm about to say is just totally fair across the board, because I could care less about Cowboy. Yeah, I'm unbiased. I could care less about the Cowboy one way or another, whether they're good, whether they're bad. It doesn't faze me whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I would sit there and say, you're sitting there saying that he's Kirk Cousins. I would sit there, in my opinion, I would sit there and say, why isn't he just the Cowboys' next Tony Romo?
Okay, so that'll work. Yeah.
I mean, instead of saying he's Kirk, what's the difference between him and what Tony Romo was considered a franchise quarterback for Dallas? So I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say that Dak's not a franchise quarterback for Dallas. I mean, Tony Romo didn't do anything more than what Dak is doing. Tony Romo has all these records for the Cowboys.
Without winning
and now Dak's putting up all these numbers, and he's getting close to Tony's records for the Cowboys. So I mean, it's not like Tony got to the playoffs, and we saw him choke time after time, and the few times he got to the playoffs. So I mean,
because Tony dealt with a team that should have won.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes, by far.
Let's put the hatred to the side.
Yeah,
straight up, just loving football. He had a team that should have won.
Yep,
maybe even multiple times.
Yep.
And then on Dak's side, it's to the same thing.
He has a team, and Dak has a team that's better than what Tony had, because he has a better overall defense.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like that was the one thing that the Cowboys were missing with Tony Romo. He didn't have this defense at all. But what you see is Dak is not showing up, and I see what you're saying, and that was more so me just being funny than anything else. But what I will say is, and unfortunately, a lot of quarterbacks are coined franchise quarterbacks, not because of what they do, it's because how much they pay them. They put up big stats, they get them a big contract, and all of a sudden they make them the franchise quarterback instead of them actually being, and whatever your definition of franchise quarterback may be. But Chief is like Romo. I mean, either way, man, it's not going to end well for him. You're going to have a lot of Dak apologists, but he's come up short many, many, many times. And he from right now is looking like he's going to be the quarterback that they paid a lot of money to. That they only
the fact that the backup came in and was winning games.
Yes, was coming, and then it's operate within the system itself. Just operate within the system. Where did we heard that at? Out in Seattle, because they said the same thing about, and they said the same thing about Russell. On his last couple of years, and then having Geno out there. That being the case, what does Dallas do in the playoffs? Because they should have lost last week too, against the Texans.
I don't think they do much.
Yeah, I mean, what's the expectation for Dallas?
They facing at the top, they can beat Minnesota, but
that's about
I'll take the 49ers over. I'll take the Eagles over them.
Right.
It all depends on who they play in that first round. They may get past that. That's about it.
Right now, if you're looking at it right now, Dallas will be playing Tampa if the playoffs were to start.
Yeah, I can see them beating.
Yeah, I think they could take Tampa out. The way the Tampa's looking right now, I think they could take Tampa out.
I can see them beating them, but once they get to that next round after that, I think it's over.
Yeah, that'll be absolutely that will be it. I mean, because they will end up having to play.
And once again, even though people could be like, well, they made the playoffs and all those different type of things, they're one of those teams that you're not supposed to be fine with just making playoffs.
Right.
So it's still a failure to me. And that's taking the hatred side out. I don't want them to make anything, but I love the fact that I'm on the Stephen A side on that joint. Like I want them to be good enough where people are loving them, and then they don't
get their hopes up.
Yeah, or they get in the playoffs and they supposed to do something and they don't. So yeah.
Is this the end of Mike McCarthy?
It was the end of Mike McCarthy when they hired him. Let's be real.
True story facts.
Are we being serious?
They bring Sean Payton there next year. Sean Payton waiting like, yep.
The only thing that's going to be interesting with that, if they were to bring in somebody like Payton, I would be scared in a way because Payton he'll be the first head coach that they hire since Jimmy Johnson that won't follow everything that Jerry says.
True.
And you see how Jimmy was able to do. That's what I don't want to see. So I hope. Once again, the hatred side. I hope that does not happen. I don't need Sean Payton to be there because I actually like him as coach.
You hoping that Payton goes to the Chargers?
Exactly. Man, go anywhere. I don't give a damn where you go.
Yeah, just don't come to the NFC East. Just don't come to the NFC East, man. It's gonna be some conversations. I wish I could have listened to Jerry Jones's post game conference after that because I know he was heated. The fact that Jerry Jones has post-game.
He
had a radio show too. He has a whole radio show too, man.
And he just doesn't see the problem.
And now since we got the highlights on the screen, I know they lost this game, I believe. Shout out to Justin Fields again.
Ridiculous.
Beast. Freaking beast, man.
Ridiculous.
Like they just need to add some stuff. Beast. That's all I can say.
Like a team. You need to add like a team, and he'll be fine.
He don't need too much of a team. He don't need too much because they manage.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's he's like I don't even know, man. He's what do you want to say? Cam Newton, Super Saiyan in Super Saiyan mode. I mean.
That run he had, if anybody saw it, that I thought was a touchdown at first.
Well, they called him out at the 9-yard line.
Yeah, right. He stepped out. That was you can't do that in the game, man,
right?
In a video game,
right? And mind you, I think he still is playing with that. Well, I know that. Well, he's healed, but he had that separated shoulder, and he's still out there balling.
He hits this acceleration. Like I said, he can step here, step there, and he's in a dead stop, man. And then he just accelerates. And nobody can catch him from that acceleration. He's gone. And his vision is crazy because he could be getting tackled. Like somebody is on him. He's not even looking at the person that's tackling him. He's looking after I break this tackle, where am I going? Like it's ridiculous. Yeah, he's amazing, man. He's a very exciting player to watch.
Shout out to Andy Dalton, still out here playing football. That's all I got for that on him.
Actually, you know what? Fields is he's. If I had to compare him to anybody right now, I would compare him to Josh Allen. He just doesn't have the same weapons that Josh Allen has as far as from an offensive standpoint with the receivers. But I think if you took him off of Chicago, put him on Buffalo, I think Buffalo still be in the same position they're in right now.
True.
Would you even compare the arms?
Compare him to who?
The arms of both of them.
Oh, the arm strength?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Josh Allen probably has a bigger arm, but I don't think Justin Fields' arm is bad. But I mean, obviously, well, for where he plays at, the fact that he's throwing out there in that Chicago win and he can still get it down there. Like I said, if he just had people that actually catch the ball, then I mean, it's quite possible. If you put both of them inside of a dome, maybe his arm is better than.
So you sound. You know what you're sounding like right now if you have people that catch for him and he's running quarterback. You know where you about to lead this conversation.
G Fish got a question.
Look, but I didn't compare. I didn't say he was, even though yes, they would still be also in the same category.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't want to steer it that way.
My man G Fish got a question. Since we were talking about Romo. Does Romo go to the Hall of Fame?
I think he goes to the Cowboys Ring of Honor.
Yeah, he'll make that because Jerry Jones loves him.
Yeah, the funny part about that, we said
I wouldn't put.
I'm going to tell you something though, and I've had this conversation plenty of times, even on the podcast. Mm-hmm. The Hall of Fame is just different, bro. That's why I look at it. It kind of has an asterisk overall because sometimes you'll see people get in there off of their popularity and stuff like that, or how much they're liked. And I just think when you talk about Hall of Fame, it should be so hard to get in that joint. You should have to be so excellent above the rest. And it shouldn't just be like a ring chasing type of thing. You know what I mean? It's I don't think Tony Romo's going to get in. Mm-hmm. Off my mind, I don't think he should be in, but I don't think he is going to get in. He'll definitely be in the Ring of Honor. But just the fact that it's a question. You know what I mean? Like, what has he done? You just went over
here's something here. So if Tony Romo goes to the Hall of Fame, this is Tony Romo's career stats. 34,183 yards, 248 touchdowns, 117 interceptions. Why is that important? If Tony Romo makes it to the Hall of Fame, your boy Captain Kirk is definitely going to the Hall of Fame because for his career, and he's still playing, he has 36,411 yards, 247, 102.
Captain Kirk goes into the Hall of Fame as having the best agent.
Right.
that ever.
But I'm saying, like, so he has 2,000 more yards than Tony Romo and still playing. Yeah. And still playing. And every season that he's been in the league, except for his first, which he kind of came through halfway through, he's thrown except for that first season with Minnesota, 4,000 yards.
Yeah, I mean,
that's like this average 4,000.
Almost not going to have anything going for him besides the fact of likability and playing for Dallas to get into the Hall of Fame. We had this conversation about remember when we were talking about Eli?
Yeah,
and I'm a Giants fan saying this. You know, he was just Mr. Playoffs.
True.
Because if you go through stats, Eli wasn't making it, but I think he's going to make it off of that name.
True,
and having those 2 chips.
Here's a question: Would you, Eric? I'm gonna ask you this because he's already been with us, and I say for some reason they couldn't re-sign Lamar Jackson, or they don't. And let's say, would you take Kirk Cousins in Baltimore?
No.
Who would he have to throw to? He needs somebody to throw to.
True. I mean, true.
Right, exactly. I mean, what good would he do for us?
Well, it's not. Well, he is one of the. It's crazy to sound. He is actually one of the most accurate quarterbacks in NFL history, which is crazy.
Accuracy. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right.
Lamar
Exactly.
Get it,
yeah.
It just.
Well, I'll say the difference will be that he will see, and this is no knock on Lamar, but I will say that Kirk will read the entire field in that sense. But I just thought to put it out there.
The Ravens will start to play better under Kirk Cousins over Lamar
Now with Greg Roman there.
We are stopping football talk for
shit.
the rest of the time because we're not doing this.
Oh,
this
man.
Is not
when is Kirk contract up? Ain't it due sometime? You know what
I'm speaking for Eric on this one.
It was just a question. It was just a question.
But I will say this.
Would you take him in New York? You take Kirk in New York?
Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
Once again.
I'll just put out.
Galladay don't say nothing. Gary don't say nothing at you. Goddamn.
I've been saying, man. You know.
What we gonna do here?
I don't know. I've been saying.
Shoot, we won a couple games off of Daniel Jones' feet.
True story.
True story. We ain't got nothing going on over there. I will say this, just to touch on, since we were talking about.
I'll take him back and watch it. I ain't gonna lie to right now.
I know you would. Now that's something I know you would do.
Shit.
But on the Ravens take of things, there's a couple ways to feel right now. Do you not think that Lamar's sitting back going, maybe I should just sit out a little bit longer so they can see how this is really without me? Does that not raise his value? And I really push that to E.
Yeah.
Being a fan and looking at this, I always ask you 2 ways, non-biasly, not as the fan and then as the fan.
Right. I would sit there and I would say that what's the difference right now than us and last year? I mean, he missed the last 6 games last year, and that still didn't push them to give him the contract he wanted. And we didn't win a single game after he missed the last 6. We went from being in first place of the AFC to not making the playoffs. So if that in itself wasn't already a telling factor of why they should have paid him, then I mean, I don't think that this really changes their mind.
So let me continue on. Let me add to the question since you brought that up. If you're Lamar, do you even want to be there anymore?
Shit, nah.
If you forget the fanhood, I know you want him there.
Well,
do you think in Lamar's mind, do you think he wants to be there anymore? After
he doesn't really have
because that's pretty disrespectful.
Really have a choice. I mean, he doesn't have a choice at least for the next year.
Yeah, I got you on that.
Maybe
but
2.
You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about his mind. Like, do you really want to be there for a franchise that you're giving everything to? You're known. This is no longer the Ravens of even if Lamar is out, the defense is going to hold this down to the point of I think in his win some games.
I think it starts to send it to his mind that he looks at it and say, y'all don't value me the way that y'all value Ray.
Yeah, definitely not.
True.
I think we all can see that.
And even probably sit there and says, I don't think y'all value me the way that y'all valued Ed either. No. Yeah, I mean, so, and quite honestly, maybe not even the way that they value Suggs.
Shoot, it's getting to the point. Maybe the way that they value Andrews at this
shit.
When is his contract up?
He just signed a new one. They gave him a new contract. They gave Andrews a new contract.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's the second highest paid tight end behind Kelce.
Yeah, and he owes that to Lamar.
He owes that to Lamar.
I ain't gonna lie. He owes it to Lamar.
Look at his numbers since when Lamar's not there. He doesn't get anywhere near the yards when Lamar's not there. When Lamar's there, his yards is off the chart. When Lamar's not there, he's nowhere near the yard production.
Yeah. Here's a question about some other quarterbacks, man. And imagine how they feel right now. Trey Lance and Love out of Green Bay before we move on. How is it being them right now? Trey Lance back there, he ain't really played no football. Now they got Brock Purdy, and they like, Trey Lance, you may end up going somewhere else. We'll see how that goes. And then you got what's the name up in Green Bay? Yeah. Their careers haven't even started.
I think as far as being able to get out of there and going somewhere to play, I think Love's in a better position because at least Love does have some, he's got some reps under his belt, where people got at least a chance to see him playing. Some of the games didn't really mean anything. But I mean, as far as Lance, I mean, we just ain't seen him play.
True. And we don't know how that's going, if he's going to ever play now. Because if Brock Purdy keep doing what he's doing, he may never see the light of day. He may never see the light of day. But in case, man, we appreciate you guys tapping in with us here. The Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk on a special Sunday night. So let's get right into the game of the night. That's why Dave and I are here right now, together in the same room, stuff like that. Giants at Commanders. We have the current 6th and 7th seed of the NFC right now for the playoffs, both sitting at 7-5-1. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do we expect out of this game?
Well, since somebody, to my left here, let me know that he already put out a bet with a spread on it. The Commanders were going to beat us. Not only beat us, but beat us. What was it? 8.5 points?
9.5.
9.5. See,
9.5.
I was giving us more credit.
Yeah, 9.5.
Sorry. So yeah, after we get off this right here, this whole nice thing that's going on, yeah. That's
the payout is crazy though. The payout is crazy.
But look, if you win, give me half the money.
It's a parlay.
Anyway,
this
is an annual thing.
Wow, I saw one for 4.5.
Yeah,
he didn't know. He did 9.5.
Yeah. So if you go on FanDuel,
I took one for 4.5.
Yeah, you go on FanDuel, you can do alternate spreads on there. You can do what spread you want in this case though. So it's like minus 9.5.
Don't disrespect me right here in my home.
My bad.
In my home. Live disrespecting me.
At least we're warm, and I'm disrespecting you. You know, we could be outside in that cold right now.
That is true.
That's
normally what we do.
Yep.
Because our annual trip, is always to the home game down here for the Commanders.
But the baby came in today, so you know.
Yep. So that's why we're here.
Yep.
But you know what? I can't really say that I feel bad about not being out there.
It's so cold out
It's fucking cold, bro. It's. I think it's supposed to be pushing about what, like 35 or something.
Yeah. It's 37 degrees now. Wind chill like 20.
Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that in my life.
Shout out to the Metro and Washington area buses. So they're actually staying open or staying running for extended time, and they're giving, I believe, what I saw, free rides for anybody who's actually at the game. So that's kind of dope. Even though FedEx Field is in the middle of no goddamn well. So good luck on getting that bus from out there.
But I feel good about these games.
Yeah, I mean, it do.
That first one got me. I think we should have been able to pull that out at the end, but there were certain things that, well, first off, we shouldn't have been in that position because I think y'all should have been able to close that out. But then it switched around. I thought we were going to close it out, and then nobody closed it out. So that ended up in the tie. Don't be surprised if it's very close towards the end of this game.
Yeah.
But we're going to see. They're very similar teams of how they do things. So we're going to see, but I think it's going to be a good game. And with the Seahawks losing,
7-7.
Please realize, no matter who loses, it's still in the race right there as far as playoffs. So, that's something in itself that the NFC East has a chance for everybody to get into the playoffs. It's still going to be very hard for whoever loses, but that'll be crazy to see. You know, a whole division get in.
To be honest, if we lose this game, I would like for us to have the 7th seed because that 6th seed goes.
I want Minnesota. I want Minnesota.
Yeah, because you're not trying to see.
Minnesota's at, I want Minnesota.
I'm not trying to see San Francisco in that first round. Not at all. I mean, but the crazy thing about it is, if Washington was to play San Francisco, you would see the two best teams in the NFC. So.
All right, Eric. It's been fun talking. This man is obviously
drunk. Man,
I
ain't started drinking yet. Now you started drinking yet.
I'm not gonna let him drive home.
So I mean, what you got for tonight's game, man? What you expect to see tonight, D? I mean, E.
You want my honest opinion on it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
I don't really give a damn.
Word. That's how you feel.
He gives a damn because he bet on one of them.
Yeah, he did.
I do have a 4.5 spread on.
Exactly. I was about to say, your ass gives a damn.
Shout out to FanDuel, man. Yeah, shout out to FanDuel making this all happen, man. It's pretty dope, man.
But it's more that comes along with that. It's more that comes along with that though than just the 4.5 spread. The Giants gotta do a couple of things, and then the Commanders gotta do a couple of things. So if they do it, cool. If they don't, fuck it.
Is it bad that I got McLaurin on my team? I'm just saying, I need the Giants to win. But if he puts up 25, 30 points, I'm all right.
I ain't gonna lie though. I do got another bet that has the Giants plus 3.5. So I'm kind of hedging my bets all type of ways.
This guy right here.
Hey man, look, I got goals in life.
Is Chase coming back tonight? Today?
No, I don't think he's playing tonight.
Okay. So is he coming back this year?
I don't know what they're doing. I really don't know what they're doing. I don't know. I thought they was going to play him this week because they didn't want to play him up in New York 2 weeks ago because of the whole turf situation. But now I don't know. I think it's all mental now. In this case, so I don't know.
I mean, being in the playoff hunt.
I mean,
you're gonna get on that field.
Next week would not be the week for him to play going against San Fran. Yeah. Because if he has to go up against Trent Williams, that's not going to end well. Former Washington,
especially the first time being back.
Right. That's not going to end well. So if anything, I would have hit him out there tonight. But at the same time, your boy, Daniel Jones got wheels, and I don't know if changing direction is going to be something that Chase can do right now. I really don't know.
That's a big question mark.
I don't know. In any case, man, we're going to let you guys get out of here, man. It's 8:04. The game's about to start up. We're going to start drinking. We're going to start eating. We Appreciate you guys. We will be back this coming week with episode 98 of the official Hot Seat podcast. We appreciate you guys tapping in with us.
Yeah, got your picks.
We got them. We absolutely got them. And so, and before we do that, let's go ahead and put those picks up to show where we are right now, because someone has taken over the second spot. There we go.
I'm gonna chase you back down.
Eric has moved into.
You enjoy your 33-0. Start at halftime. You enjoy that. I'm coming for you.
Oh man. Earl still up at top, 129-76. But again, Eric is closing that gap quickly. Like it was hell of a job. Dave's sitting in 3, and I'm just sitting in 4, bro. I'm just, but I did pick Jags to beat Dallas again, so I'm gonna take that, that what it is. Shout out to Lionel Messi, man, for getting his first World Cup today against France. It ended pretty well. They're just showing a highlight right now. If you guys are on NBC and Telemundo, and they give you the goal, it's pretty dope to watch, man. It's been a great sports season. Again, tap in with us next week. Episode 98, the Hot Seat Podcast presents. Actually, no, just Hot Seat Podcast on all of your podcast platforms and everything that's in between. It's time to watch some football, folks. Enjoy your night.
Modelo.
Let's go, Commanders. Yeah, just all I'm saying. That's all I got. Got anything, Eric, before we get out of here?
Nope.
All right, man. And you guys have a good holiday, too.
Yeah.
Have a Merry Christmas. Everything. Be safe and everything else in between. Enjoy your family and such. Love on them and everything else in between, man. Yo, it's the Hot Seat. Yo, is out.